Welcome back to another Create Mod episode. In the last one, we ruined my base. That is right, we covered it with leaves, broke a bunch of holes in the roof and ceiling and walls. I mean, this used to be made of wall, and now it's made of air. On the inside here, we took chunks out of the ceiling, we added in some drooping vines and stuff, and just kind of weathered the whole thing, making it look a little bit more used, a little bit more rundown, so that the more new big boys, this big factory, and the other train station are looking even better. We also made a couple of custom trees that I'm actually going to work on today, and at the very end of the video, if I can get up here, I had unweathered this oxidized copper so we could make a little gradient here that would connect more with the leaves and then gradient out back towards the wax copper. And I think once we get that in, it'll look really amazing. The keen-eyed among you might have already seen that the courtyard is looking a little bit different already, and that's because it is. I was already building. And in the last episode, I said it was going to take 6 hours-ish, given my previous tree's speed of building those, and I was pretty spot on. So enjoy the next 6 hours of tree building, and if you're not, hit subscribe. All right, let's go. And this time lapse is a long one. I started on just 2 trees per thing and wanted to change it up a little bit, so I decided to make this one look a little bit like burnt down and like it's got the embers smoking in a little bit. And then the next one is just another standard tree. That's the third one that's like pretty standard. And at this point, I've like kind of gotten in a groove of like, I'm vaguely aware of how to build a tree. So let's make a little bit bigger of a tree. You can see that this one's like, it's not a crazy bit bigger, but it is a ton more leaves. I just added a bit more droopiness, a bit more holes, and then this one is kind of where I stepped out of my comfort zone. I wanted to curve it so that it was more willow tree-esque, and I think I did a very good job on the shape of the tree itself. And then I made this one even more droopy. It's hard to tell really in the time lapse, but once we get into the game, we'll see it. And then I kind of like copied the droopiness and curviness over, because normal trees curve and droop and aren't perfectly straight. So if I were to do this again, I would add a little bit of curves to the stems of the other trees, but I still think they look very good. They fit in with the build, and we're getting to the end. I think the only thing left to do is fix that fountain to make it not look like it's from 2012. But let's get back to the video. And the trees are done, and they look incredible. The amount of droopiness, the amount of like, I was hoping for this outcome of like the trees curving over the path like this, and I didn't think I would be able to do it. Starting with these 2 trees, I was not very confident. I mean, there's not much path droopage, but then I figured out how to go sideways, diagonal building. It's crazy. I think it turned out incredibly. We need to fix this fountain. It looks like it's from 2012, as I mentioned, but just let's go through the trees. We started off in the time lapse with this one, which is pretty standard, pretty tall, straight up, normal. By the end, I just strung down these vines to make them more droopy. I apparently went for the willow tree vibe. I didn't mean really to do that at the start, but it's a gorgeous tree. If you don't know what a willow tree is, it's up on the screen now. They're so cool. They're so cool looking. And then after building that, I was like, maybe 6 or 8 of these exact trees is going to be a lot of repetition. So maybe we just throw in a burnt one for some reason that's burning. And I wanted to use, I thought there was a branch. I wanted to use glass as a like way to show the steam. I tried. I think it gets the point across, and it's not scar level, but maybe we'll get there eventually. I still think it looks pretty good. And then we moved on to the biggest boy, I suppose. If we fly up to the top here, it is looking a lot more overgrown, a lot less pristine, which I really like. This one's a little bit bigger, quite a bit taller, where you have a 5 wide trunk that goes into this canopy. This took so many leaves, like it doesn't feel like it's that much bigger. It covers the entirety of the path to over here. That is almost double the size of any other tree here, and that's just the diameter. So yeah, it's a way bigger. It's kind of disc shape. I don't know how to fix that really. I think the only way to fix it is to not have one this big and this disky. That was a word. Don't even worry about it. And then we went over to the curvy boys. I wish I curved all of them. Honestly, like this just looks so good. It makes sense arc-wise that it wants to go away from the tree or the building as much as it can, because then it has more room to grow. And I do wish I curved all of them. But I think it's good that there's some variation. I don't hate that all of them aren't curved. This one's easily my favorite. These two just curve kind of in towards the pathway. This one curves diagonally in towards the pathway, and it looks so cool. Like, it's so willow tree-y, all the vines are drooping. From the top, it doesn't look as good because it's very horizontal, as you can see, but I still like it. It still looks really good. And then the final two, I banged out in, I think, only an hour and a half, so I'm killing it. It looks so cool. It's the perfect entrance into this area. I want to tear down this fountain and just see what it looks like without it. We're not keeping the fountain regardless, so tearing it down isn't going to be an issue, but I'm curious, and this will decide what we're building as the final build way over there that we haven't even started yet, what we're doing with that. Because if the view here is just beautiful, I think we somehow have the building have a big old hole in the center so we can keep looking through it. That'll also make it so that we can see the train pass by, and I think that would be pretty neat. If the view is cool without the fountain, we might have our work cut out for us for this building, just to make it like maybe a big old archway or something, like the thing in France, Arc de Triomphe, I think that's what it is. But a big old arch here where it's just like cool for no reason, like every old thing that's ever existed. And I think if it looks cool, it'll look sick. So I think let's tear down this thing, because, you know, I tried my best in ye old days. It looks stupid. I have all the materials that I need. I just need some blocks to block off the water from flowing. And honestly, with the backpack mod, I think moss is my favorite scaffolding block. It is Instamine. Oh, let me build. It is Instamine with a hoe, and since we have the advanced tool swapper automatically, it's just full Instamine no matter what, which is incredible. Obviously, in normal games, you can't Instamine it with a hoe, and you're usually not carrying around a hoe. But if you are, all right, it is nighttime, but this is what it's looking like. Honestly, I think that makes it look better. Obviously, we're not going to have this kind of floor in here, but having this open, I kind of like, I think. So I think for now, we just keep this open, but we're not done with these little courtyard areas here. Just because trees exist doesn't mean that we can't have little flowers, little benches maybe, like some pathways in between them, have it like a communal space for employees of whatever place this is, tear down the old building incorporated, and maybe we have like a cool little garden walkway thing of like a city or Central Park vibes. Because they have like the main large pathway, but then they have all their other winding paths and stuff. And I think just doing that could be kind of fun. And the beauty with, the beauty with grass is that we can just right click it and get these path blocks that are different enough from the dirt that we're using for the trees themselves. So we can actually differentiate what is grass and what is roots and dirt and stuff from all the other trees and everything else. But let me fix up this floor and then we can get to better decorations and finishing up the courtyard. The center pathway is all in now. We just replaced it, threw in some of the classic good old-fashioned granite, polished granite and brick, and it's looking good. The next thing that we need now that this is in is some lights for the center bit area here. Obviously we have the edges all good because of this cool trick with lights just under trapdoors here, but we don't have that in the center here, and I'm not really sure what we can do. I probably am gonna do some little street lights that go up and over the pathways here, and then maybe like some bigger ones or a center one here that just goes like straight up and then has street lights on either side like this, but that will block the view that we just created. So I'm going to try to avoid that. If I can do it, that'd be great. If I can't, then too bad, and we'll have to put something in the center here. And I still don't think that'll be too big of an issue. Looking at it though, from way back here, it definitely looks way better with the normal floor. And I think it does look better than even like itself with the fountain in there. So I think we keep it empty, at least the best that we can. If we have to put lights in the center, then we have to, and that's just how it's going to go. But I think I can manage getting lights in here along the pathways and still not like obstructing our view at all. Let's get those lights in. And I thought let's do a fun little transition where we just spin around and they're in. And I wish this actually fixed our issue with the whole middle area being not lit up, but it doesn't. What it does do is look cool. These are a thing that I stole part of, like this little tube bit That's not what this is. Fence post bit I stole, and then I thought of the spruce hanging signs with the lights below it. I think it looks pretty cool. And then we just copied it along the way. And the beautiful thing about this is that these signs can go sideways, so it actually looks good diagonally, which is rare, I feel like, with normal fence post stuff. But the center is still super dark. So potentially what we do is we just light up the center like that, maybe get a light block, or that looks bad. I'm not sure what we can do. Maybe we could do like manhole covers and have just 4 of them around. That might be doable. And I think that could actually look pretty cool. So this might work. That kind of looks like a manhole cover. I don't hate it. The issue is that we are right underneath this area here. So we could do something where we have them like this. Where's this light? Here we go. And we have them in the 4 sides like that. And I think that would actually work and still look okay. So if we do that, yeah, that looks fine. Those look pretty much like manhole covers. I am a-okay with those being there. And it lights up the center, creates a pretty consistent light path, and doesn't block the main view that we care about through the center there with any ugly bits or anything. And this looks pretty cool. The next step is just going to be breaking these blocks here. Well, maybe not exactly here, but somewhere. Making a path that like loops around, maybe goes behind the tree and then comes out here. I think that could be really cool. And then if we could hook it all up, potentially have something like this, where we go like here and then straight through here. Oop, and then this way, where we then go back around this way or something like that. And then we just go around this tree and then out this way or something. And I think a little winding path that goes all the way around like this could be really cool. I'm not sure if it's going to look too crowded though, so we do have to take that into consideration. But I suspect it will be okay. So I guess let's get that in. I'm going to keep it relatively simple because we do have these rooted dirt packed mud areas here, so I might try to do a normal packed mud little pathway with some just normal path blocks and some mud bricks. I don't know yet if it's going to look good and if it's going to mesh too much with the roots that we have here already. We might need to switch this up to just these muddy mangrove roots, but I was wrong. And I have done a little bit more work. There's a lot of things to go over. First and foremost, these leaves used to not be birch, but I think to just fit the vibe more, I switched them all to birch. The pink didn't really fit in, and especially the oak leaves didn't really match with the moss, which, let me talk about. We made the pathways weave and wind, looking amazing, and I used these hedges as kind of like a way to, I don't even know, like just make you appreciate the area a little bit more. So we have the pathways, we have some lights in here now, and I think the pathways go pretty good. They move around the area really nicely and make it just so that it feels cool. I probably should light up this area a little bit more, but overall, I love it. It looks incredible. I wanted something to like kind of outline where the path was, to differentiate the path and the dirt and the roots and stuff of the tree. And I feel like this is kind of the best bet because in at least some parks, not all of them, at least some, they have like little bushes that outline where the path is and are like, don't go further past the bushes because then you could die. They also use it to kind of backdrop buildings so that you don't see the building walls as much because they're usually kind of uggo and stupid. So I've done both at least a little bit in places that I can. Obviously not this one because it is right up against the building, but over here I have it so that the kind of hedges go along the building, and I've just like randomized it between 1 and 3 blocks because having it just like 2 blocks tall or 3 blocks tall made it feel like we were in a pixelated movie, and that wasn't really the vibe I was going for. But I think overall, let me actually plop that there. I think overall it turned out incredible. This is at normal brightness volume. Everything is lit up except for this area here and then the same thing over there. So maybe we replace this bad boy with another one of our patented lamp posts. But then other than that, everything's lit up. It looks pretty cool. And with shaders, it looks even better. Just like walking around here feels like I'm in a park at night. Now, I'm not really sure if I should be putting in bushes in like little spaces here. I probably should, and maybe that's the thing we do next. but just like walking around here makes it feel like you're in a park, in a little courtyard thing. Maybe not a industrial courtyard type of thing, but definitely something really cool. And I want to wait until the moon gets in that gap so we can just walk through with a cool view. Just the hue, the glow from the moon as it's coming down looks so cool. And this is why you build all of your builds facing west, because the sunset, the moonset, is that a thing that exists? Looks so cool. Jeez, and it's already gone, but looking super cool. And this is easily one of the most beautiful builds I've ever done. I think we get in a few bushes, maybe a little bit of rockiness in here, and the shaders are done. And maybe a little bit of rocky boys, like little pebbles or something in here. And then I think the courtyard's done. I think we just need to fill up some of the big spaces and then we're good. And we've now done that. I just used some tuff, some moss, some stone to make some little boulder rock boys. I know this, everyone says this every time they make a pretty build and then they add little rocks. It does so much to the area. Like, it draws your eye to it immediately because it's like the only non-green and brown thing, and it makes it look so cool. This area still, we probably want a little bit more things here, but otherwise everything is pretty like compact. I have a little rock here with just some stairs and slabs that looks sick. There's one over here that's just a slab in the ground, which I really like. And then I accidentally crafted some trapdoors, or whoa, those aren't trapdoors, pressure plates. So I just had to use them because otherwise it would feel bad. And then again, the tuff and moss and stone just work so well together. I wish I was in 1.21 because then we would have all the tuff variants. But just adding that little bit of stone, that little bit of gray, kind of just pulls everything together. And the courtyard's done. Courtyard looks amazing. And we still have so much time in this video. So what even could we do next? Well, I have a great idea. For some reason, I think when I upgraded the mod pack to the newest version, these stopped working. These were, these were refilling stations, and I have it set to a filter of a full one of these should make it work. I can actually put this one in here too. A full fueling tank, dyslexia, fueling, I figured it out. When this thing's full, it should drop itself out, but where's my wrench? Boomer, boomer, boomer. It feels like I've forgotten how to play the game since I've only been building for that long. But if I just like have it drop, it just drops all of them even if they're empty, which is not the ideal circumstance. There are ways to do it better, and that's kind of what I want to focus on. But, uh-oh. Oh, is it okay? Is it safe? It is. Okay, we're fine. Time to go back through my whole hatch. But the first thing I want to focus on is an obsidian generator. The reason for this is, I'll let you in on a little secret, I don't have a video for this last Friday when this video comes out, and I want to make an automatic obsidian farm, and I might as well show you my design process. And then we can also get to figuring out how to do the water filling things so that they actually work, which will be great. But I don't know how to make obsidian. Well, I do. I think it's actually going to be really easy. But if we go to the crafting table, how do you make it? So we can crush obsidian, we get a 75% chance. I don't think that's how we do it though. Bulk washing of this could be interesting, where we get magma creams and craft it. I don't think that would work, but that could be cool. There's not a way to make magma blocks with lava, right? I don't think so. I think we just do a normal, we pump lava from one of our many, Exhibit A. We pump lava, we break it, and then we fix it. So we just do this, but have an automatic braking system that also picks it up. All right, so I just set up a little test thing to see if this will even work. I want to stop this really quick. What I'm doing here is I am using a smart observer to observe when obsidian is placed here. And then I am just using a cart with, I'm going to replace this with a storage block thing right there. It's actually probably better if we move this to here. And then get under there. Okay. Like that. And then placing this here. Now, all that we have to do is hook up the lava. And yes, that will make obsidian. That's what I was worried about. So the issue now is that this barrel is just not picking anything up. That's fine for the most part. I think if we just get in a lava source or a pickup source of some sort, then it'll work flawlessly. But already we have 10 obsidian. That is brilliant. And obviously for the tutorial that's coming out on Friday, this is going to be a little bit better, and we're going to have an automated lava generator if you don't have an infinite source like this. But if you do, it's really that simple. We just need a collection system and we're good. I just thought of something. Maybe if we put a brass funnel here, it's locked. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. Let me switch these two around just in case. But my thinking is maybe if we put a brass funnel here, it will just let us drop out items. Because on the cobblestone generators that I'm not using here, but are in most of my new contraptions, just having a brass funnel here lets that drop stuff out that's still powered. Dang it. I didn't consider that. Okay, we're moving that bad boy to, oops, excuse me, to over here just to have it. And then we'll glue you. Who cares? This is just for testing. Let's hook this back up to lava. No, back to the drawing board, I guess. This is a very good start, though. I didn't think this would work as well as it does. All right, another update. This one should be the final one. We have a fully working system. I have moved, and this is kind of brilliant that this is allowed, the water source into a leaf block. So we're in a leaf block right now. It's hard to see, but from the outside, leaves, and then that still makes it obsidian somehow. And then to pick up all the items, we just have hoppers going down onto the belt and into our main storage system. I don't know, do I have obsidian as a storage item? We should see it going up. 25, 26, 45, 46, 47, 48. This is just the speed that lava travels. So this is the max speed with just one pump. We could... I don't think we could speed it up for this one. We can always duplicate it and just get rows and rows of them, but that might add in some difficulty since this isn't one wide and tileable. Perhaps I can get that in if I used a hopper minecart and put the water below. I think that would work, but for me, that's not super necessary. Maybe I throw that in for the tutorial because it would be pretty cool if it's one wide tileable. Anyway, this is now working. We have unlimited obsidian. That's actually kind of tough to say. So now we can make those like kind of difficult, but not difficult enough for it to really matter things of the sturdy sheets, which are used for the large filling things, some enchantment things, and then the train schedules and some other train casings and stuff. So not super useful, but when it is useful, it's really useful. I don't yet have an on and off switch for this. I suppose we could just have a lever here that turns this thing on and off. Do I have a lever in this? Of course not. I hate being prepared. But if we just throw a lever on top of this, then it's always off. Cool. And now to get to the more challenging one, figuring out how to keep the water boys from getting water. I think potentially we can again use the smart observer. And if we just throw it down and rotate it, let me rotate you, and then have it looking this way. I'm not sure if we can make it look at water, but if we can, no. We could probably use a normal observer, honestly. What I want to do is see if the item continues to pick up water, and then when it does, when it stops, we unlock the mechanism here. Let me turn you. That's not how real observers work. Bonk. And then once a pulse extender stops running, we can then power this or depower it. It'll let one item through, and then we'll just repeat the process. So we have a first test here that when it starts filling up, it's good. It works flawlessly. As soon as it gets full, it turns itself off and drops it out. The only issue that we're running into, where are some empty ones? The only issue that we're running into is that it is too quick between like turns, essentially. So we need to figure out a way to power it all the time until this observer stops seeing it. And then as soon as it stops seeing it, we depower it and then repower it right away. And that is a little bit more challenging than initially anticipated. I am genuinely the smartest person in the world. While I was editing that last clip, I thought of this, and it is honestly so simple, but so brilliant. I might be the smartest person ever. So what we're doing here is, it's the exact same process. What is happening is we are powering the brass funnel all the time, except for when the observer is being powered. The reason for this is because then this is powering the observer. So when the observer is powering and this thing is taking water out, this will be powered, this will be off. This will be powering this until it's full. The second it's full, the observer will stop powering this, this will turn off, and then 2 ticks later, this one will turn off, turning this line back on. So for 2 ticks, this will be depowered and will take out the thing in its hand. Now, hopefully, if we fill up multiple of these, 2 ticks is just enough time for it to drop one off, but not multiple. I can change this and lower it down to 1 tick if I need, but you can see it happen here. This one's gonna turn off and then 2 ticks later, the other one. And there we go. These are both full. I'm so smart. This is crazy. It is kind of ugly and in the way, so we can fix that, but I'm just bamboozled that this actually worked right away. Oh my gosh. This was like the 3rd thing I tried. That should not... This feels like big brain moment. I don't think I've ever seen this either. Maybe we can make another video on this. Maybe another tutorial coming soon. This is crazy. I can't believe this actually worked. It worked so well. You don't need filters. It's all like basic create mod, vanilla create mod, whatever. Easy. Okay, now I just need to make it look less ugly. I don't know how to do that. And compact it, I didn't. But I did move it over here, which means it should work. I don't have any empty ones, so I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll try that out next episode, and in the meantime, I can take down this one. And there we go, ugliness cleared away fully. Both of the smart filling stations are now fully in. We just throw our empty ones in the barrel, obviously lava for one and water for the other, and it'll just work. At least it should, because I can't test it. But that is going to do it for this video. This is easily the most progress I've ever made on a video. So if you're here to the end, like this video, because I need it for my mental health. And if you're not subscribed somehow, definitely subscribe. We made this entire courtyard. We started out with 2 trees, like across from each other, this one, and we ended the video with 8 trees, one of them burned down, 8 trees, pathways, different leaves here, little lights that light up the area, and just a perfect vibe of the entire area here. We also, I almost forgot about this, made an obsidian farm in this video. This one is so simple, just requires a hopper. It's already connected up to our main storage system. And then we finally fixed my biggest complaint about the new update. I don't know why this happened or what, but we fixed the large filling and fueling tanks with these 2 systems, and they're in the same place now, so I don't have to go to different buildings to do it, and everything's all working, and it's working great. So again, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.